Hello again. So, as we've kind of been going over, subtitles have basically become a necessity with VTuber content, no matter where you're ultimately uploading your videos. We've already covered the caption creation process, specifically in Premiere Pro, because Premiere offers a very quick and easy way to do so. And I have another video prepped to upload that'll cover importing and exporting caption styles. That would be kind of like the part 3 to this little series we've got going on. But now we're we should probably discuss the design phase of subtitles, making them look good. For the most part, this is pretty much just all about you. What what you like, what you think fits in your project, the fonts, the colors, the size, the placement, all of that is determined by you on a video by video basis. Since what looks good in one video might not look very good in another. So it's just kind of, you play it by ear and see how it goes. However, there are some aspects that are recommended, such as having a 2-color fill and stroke combo. So, say you've got a project here, and you need to start making some subtitles. So let's just grab type tool, type something in there. That. Then you go down in here. You grab. Here's the fill and the strokes. You select both. Fill. Let's leave it at white. White is usually the base color for fill. It's very rarely anything else. Mostly because it just kind of works best in legibility and whatnot. But the stroke can be kind of whatever. You want to make sure it's a color that won't blend in too much with your background, so obviously I'm not going to select the same green as we've got going on in the background. Let's make this a bit bigger. Because then it wouldn't really work too well. It meshes too much, which makes it clash. And probably aren't gonna... My hair color could work, but I don't really like it too much. It doesn't pop enough, you know? It feels too bland. The same thing is pretty much with the jacket, and a little bit of red there is probably not good enough. It's still decent. I usually go with the blue. You know, a lighter blue might not always be so good, especially against the green, so I usually go with like one of the darker, kind of like that. If we go with this color, it's a little bit darker. It doesn't stick to the background too much. Now, keep in mind, I am also colorblind, so this might look good to me, but it might not look good to others. So we just try to find a middle ground, try to find a balance, especially for those who have color blindness like me. To make it, you can make it stand out a little bit more if you add a shadow. So I like to add the shadow just because it really helps the text stand out from the background. You remove a lot of the issues with blending and meshing. It pops out all on its own, pretty much no matter what color you pick. Now you can go back in here. You can pick the same color green. It still blends, but you can see it because it has that shadow. Some people like to do shadow as a third stroke. Something like this. Right? And that works wonders as well. Whatever you want to do. The main thing to keep in mind is at least the 2 colors, the stroke and the fill. Have those 2 things and you're pretty much good, right? Next, there is keeping captions to a moderate size so that you don't take focus away from the main video. So, for example, this is too big. There's too much going on here. The eye will be drawn to up here where the text is rather than more down here. Where I am, where I'm gonna be talking. So we want it to be a bit smaller. The largest I usually go with is 150. I rarely ever go larger than that. I am gonna actually change the font here, which is another point I'll bring up in a second, but I'm just gonna change it now because it's bugging the crap out of me. There we go. 150 is not terrible, but it is a bit large. You can't really go wrong with the usual 100. It's a nice size. Fits really well. If you need something a little bit smaller, say you have multiple people talking, and you have the main subtitle for the person who's talking mostly, but you have another person who's kind of talking in the background, whether they're responding or whatever else. You can kind of shrink this down. Say put it around here so that there's a visual hierarchy that follows. The main visual hierarchy goes to the larger text at the center of the screen and then follows up to the smaller one. 80 is a pretty good size. You can go smaller with 60. Also works. A lot of the small details will depend on the video, but having it in the right position is definitely a key thing to remember. Third point is the one I just mentioned I was going to bring up, keeping the font to something that is easy to read. Usually that means something that's round, something that's large, and something that has bold. Let's see, this is the one I use a bunch for other videos, with the larger one. It's not terrible, this is the regular. It's not bad, but it's a little too thin. If you change it to bold, it really helps the fill pop out so you can read it very nicely. Now obviously you shouldn't use fonts like, let's see. Here we go. This one. Yeah, don't use this one. You will be hard-pressed to find a human being that can read this in the split-second time frame in which subtitles usually come up. Given enough time, I'm pretty sure most people could translate that, but it's just... No. Just please don't. This one can work. You gotta make sure that you're careful. Even this one can be problematic just because of the intersection is empty, so be careful with the font you pick. Make sure it's a good one. Make sure it'll work for your project. Whoop. I shrank that too much. But beyond that, you should be fine. Now, the fourth point is actually also the last one. Including some form of animation. Animation is not necessary. I personally really don't think it's necessary. It can be very time consuming. So if you're doing very short form content, like just 60-second TikTok videos or YouTube shorts, whatever, animations might not be the thing you really have time to spend on. But it is a very popular thing, so keep it in mind to, find some stuff to try out. Let's try out some popular ones, right? For pretty much every animation, you're going to want to make sure that the anchor is focused more or less in the center of the text, because if it isn't, when you start messing with stuff, say we go like this, then over here, and we make it bigger. it's focused right on that corner. And it just doesn't feel natural. So instead, what you want to do is you want to take the anchor point, put it somewhere in the center, and then voila, there you go. Ta-da! Now, obviously, this is kind of just all over the place. And I'm not doing the best job of, making it look super nice, but there you go. Now, obviously, that's very slow. Wouldn't recommend that. I'll show you the animation I typically use. So we go in here, 0, 1, 2, raise the size up to maybe about 125. Two more, go over 2 more times. Put it at about 90, then 2 more. There we go, you can actually see it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This over, and it looks like this. It's very quick, pops, easy. You can actually shorten it even further. So say 1 second, because sometimes if somebody's talking quickly, you don't have time for the longer animation. By the time the animation finishes, the word's gone, right? So you can have an even quicker one. That's one type of animation you can do. You could do another one that say we go like this, and this one will raise it up a bit, right? So it kind of just drops down. That's another one you can do. There's a bunch of different little animations. Have fun with it, play around with it, move things around, just go crazy. Have at it. Create the animation that looks good for you. Those are kind of the key points that go into designing your text, your captions, your subtitles. And I'm pretty sure I went over the process, but we'll go over it one more time. You transcribe the sequence. It's not letting me transcribe the sequence. Oh, that's because it's not selecting one. There we go. So you transcribe it. I really don't care, so we'll just transcribe whatever. I don't give a crap. We're not worried about details right now. And then create captions. Right? Here they are, right there. You can do the same thing. So right now they're set at 48. So bring that up to 100. Keep the fill where it is. Change the stroke. Change font. Right? There you go. And then you can do, if you want to make the animations from there, you got to do the thing where you go to graphics and titles, upgrade caption to graphic, and there you go. Now you can go into effect controls and you can edit all the stuff like we did before. So that's subtitle designs. It's a lot of the popular stuff that goes around. There's a lot more to it. If you want good ideas, go out and look for other people's content. Watch what they do. See what they do. See what looks good to you. See what doesn't look good to you. Mix and match. Experiment with your own stuff. There is very little that can be done that's like, hey, do this. This will work every time. Because, like I said before, every video is different. Every scenario is different. Backgrounds change. Models change. so on and so forth, different numbers of people talking. So just kind of play it by ear, see how things go, and just do what looks good to you, and you'll be fine. But, yeah, it's about all. Good luck on your projects. Bye-bye.